Hello, it's Lindenherz. Yeah, as I told in my last video, I am about to do something very special now on every Sunday. I will lit a candle on my elemental Advent Wreath up until the Winter Solstice. And yeah, I thought I could go a bit a different way this time with my Advent Wreath. I'm not a practicing Christian or Lutheran, from which this tradition comes from. So I thought, why not give it a bit of a pagan touch, and why not do something elemental related every Sunday? Yeah. And before I will go on with that, just a little side note. Maybe you noticed that I welcomed you with my German name, Lindenherz, and not Lindenhart. That is due to the fact that I'm now on Instagram, and when I wanted to take the name Lindenhart, it was not available anymore, so I went for Lindenherz. And because I want to have basically the same name for every one of my, for every social media adventures I will take on the next weeks and months, I thought, okay, I will go with Lindenherz. That was something I thought about long ago to bring in my German background, and I guess it's not so different from Lindenhart, so no, it's Lindenherz. Yeah, back to the topic now. Yeah, what you can see here is quite fitting for the element of air. This, yeah, is basically a memory card game called Hugin Munin. And I know there are some North mythology lovers and Raven and Crow lovers out there who might be quite interested now in this kind of deck. Okay, it's basically a memory card deck, but I think it's also very usable for divination. I will show you the cards later. First, I will show you here the creators of this deck, Iris Fischer and Holger Kliemannel. I know this deck is still available on Amazon.com, but only over through the marketplaces. I guess it costs about $25. May seems, I guess it's not so much. It's not a lot of money because you get a lot of this deck. It's a big memory card deck, actually. Really big. I guess it's 50 different pictures or, yeah, motifs. And so when you double it, there are 100 cards in it. I got this deck from our witchy shop, which now closed a couple of weeks back, but which will hopefully reopen in another part of the city next year. But I was lucky enough to get this deck for half price, even a bit cheaper. I got it for 10 euros or so. Yeah, 10 euros. It was 20 euros in original, and yeah, I was quite lucky. And also quite sad because that day they had 50% off sale of, yeah, everything they had there. And they had so many lovely, lovely tarot decks there. The Wildwood Tarot and the Fairy Tale Tarot, and yeah, so many. And I swear, if I had more money with me on that day, yeah, I guess I would have bought the whole store, the whole shop. Yeah, so now back to this lovely card game. I had my eyes long on this, but yeah, when I saw it was on sale, I thought, oh no, I give it a go. Yeah, now to this, I will put this aside. I opened it already because the box is a bit, the box is sturdy though. But the box opens a bit different, not different, a bit problematic. It's a bit stucky or sticky or so you have to be a bit patient to open it. Maybe it's only this box, maybe the others are different. So this is the book or the booklet that comes with it. The downside thing for all English-speaking people is it's only in German. Yeah, that's the sad thing. But I guess with a lot of these meanings or pictures, you can came up with your own meanings for every card. And when you just use it as basic memory card game, it's no problem at all. So here, for those who don't know it, but I guess a lot of you will know this, Hugin and Munin are the two ravens of Odin, of the All-Father Odin. And Hugin and Munin basically means thought and memory. Memory and thought, I will have to see. Yeah, Hugin is thought and Munin is memory or remembrance. Yeah, and what you do here is basically you are, in this game, you are Hugin and Munin and try to get as much information for Odin as possible by getting as much card pairs as you can get. But the fine thing here is that you get a lot of descriptions on the cards themselves. They are divided into different sections, these kind of cards. I guess the largest section is we will come to this. This section is about the 9 worlds, where gods, giants, dwarfs, and men are living. And we have here Asgard, the first world. Vanaheim is also here. Midgard, where humans live. And the other, like Lichtalfheim, where the god Freya lives. Even for a German, it is not so easy to pronounce these names. Svartalfheim, okay. This is the home of the light elves and also the black elves here. What you can see. Then we have Muspelheim. This sounds a bit sweet or cute. Muspelheim is the home of the fire giants. And then we have Niflheim. I will show you the card later because this card, this card outlook, it looks a bit like one of Tolkien's illustrations. Oh, I totally forget to look who is the artist here. Okay, this is something really lovely because you, as I mentioned here, it's the one here, Iris Fisher and Holger Klimanl, and Iris Fisher is the artist. So, as I saw in the latest video of Kelly from The Truth and Story, that she, and that includes me, is not so happy about some decks that are missing the artist on the cover. Here it is, at least on the side of the cover. Yeah, so Iris Fisher is the illustrator or the artist. Back to where I was. So we will show you later the card of Niflheim, because this really reminds me of some of Tolkien's illustrations. So we have Jotunheim. This is the home of basically of the giants. And it's the place where it's the place Odin is always fighting against, which is here. Is described. Also, the name of the ruler of Jotunheim is Gymir, is a very old giant. And they are a much older race than the Asen, which are basically the gods in Asgard. Then we have Helheim, which is named after the goddess Hel, which is, yeah, ruling there. And Hel is a child of Loki. That is also described here. And it's a bit of the background how living in Hell is, and why Hell, how living in Helheim is, and why Hel got get banished there by Odin. And what else have we here now? We come to a different part, a different section. This is on all the runes cards. There are 25 rune cards in this, and so you can also utilize it to learn runes, or just work with the rune cards here. And this is something I really find quite amazing, actually. So the sound you hear here underneath me is my dog, who is is stretching and just awakening. So back to the runes. The runes, the rune alphabet is called Futhark, and they are using here the older Futhark as it is mentioned here. And the older Futhark has 25 runes in it. There are also other systems. There are systems which also have 33 runes in it, but we use this one. And what I also love is that they are telling how and where the runes were created. That they were created actually on beechwood, on little staffs, or sticks of beechwood. And this is interesting in terms of the German word Buchstabe. Buchstabe means basically letter in English, basically letter. But when you try to separate this word Buchstabe, you find two words actually in it: Buch, book, and Stabe for stick or staff. In this case, stick is more possible. And that origin goes back to when runes were carved on little sticks. So Buchstabe goes back to this old tradition, and I really like that. So here you can see then every of the runes, and there's also a bit of description to the runes, what they mean, and a bit of the background of this, and maybe how you want to use this for divination. So you can see there are a lot, like I said, 24, and I will show you them later, but I have to see because I didn't put them in order, so we will see how much I will get out of this. So, and the next section is the smaller section is on the Wheel of the Year festivals. Actually, they are a bit different called here in at least in this booklet. I wasn't aware of some of the names, some of the German names of it. Some of them are quite similar to the Celtic ones. So here it's the Yule festival, or Midwinter, or Winter Solstice. And they are telling a bit about that, that it is the time of the wild hunt. And they are also explaining a bit about the 12 nights of Christmas, which we call here in Germany Rauhnächte. There's the 12 Rauhnächte. Rauhnächte actually means something, it's also a mixed word, because Rau means rough, basically, which is referring sometimes to fur or pelt. I don't know why they called it rough, or why they referred it to pelt. Maybe because of the furry demons that are still that you can still sometimes see dancing in the south of Germany, in Bavaria. They have something like that where people are dressed up in like demons in furry coats with demonic masks and so on. And maybe this refers to that. And another explanation for the word Rau in Rauhnächte is that it means Rauch or smoke or smudging or using incense, because it's the time when you use incense to banish evil forces and so on. So, and here it is said that Odin rides in with the wild hunt, accompanied by Frau Holle, which is also lovely. You might all know Frau Holle from the Grimm's fairy tale. And she is in the German tradition also known as Hulda, which is a representation of the elder tree, Holunder. Mutter Holunder, she's also called. And yeah, this is also quite lovely and quite in depth here. The next, which we have here, is actually Imbolc in the Celtic tradition, which is here Fastnacht, which sounds almost like another tradition, which is more celebrated, which are celebrating more in the south of Germany and middle west of Germany. It's called Fasenacht or Fastnacht, which is almost like Fastnacht. And this is a time where you dress up. It's like basically like a carnival, which is here, especially in Cologne, very, very popular. Sometimes we here in the north of Germany try to adapt that, but we are not so much of a carnival people here, but we want to. So we adapt a lot of stuff which comes from the south. We actually also have here in Hanover the Oktoberfest, which, it's not so much of a northern tradition here in Germany, but we love that. And I also like that because for me, it's basically an autumn festival. And we have, amusement park, which is then building up here in near the city center, where you can drive all kinds of crazy devices and eat a lot of stuff. Yeah, but Fastnacht here is basically Imbolc, or Imolc, how you want to pronounce that. And I try to get where it's come from. Here it says that the name Fastnacht comes from the word, I have to see, Fasel? Okay, I get yes, it's Fasel, not Fasel. Okay, Fasel. Fasel means what does fruchtbar mean? I will put in I'm just now missing the word for it. Fruchtbar. I will put it now in here. It gives you a bit of the background here. That that young women were slightly beaten by birch twigs and hazelnut twigs to get in the mood for having a baby. So I try to go around the word fruchtbar. I will put it in. It was a very important festival back in those days because rivers got free from ice and were able to drive on per boat. So it was very important for trading, for sea trading or water trading, how you want to call it, trading on the water. Yeah, and still there are, like I said, in the south of Germany and also in Swiss and also Austria, they still have the kind of custom when, like I said, people in masks with furry pelts try to chase away winter. Winteraustreibung, we call it. Yeah, and next one here is Ostara, which is also Ostara here, and it's also said that it's the name of the old spring goddess. I'm not so sure about that because I read a bit about that and read that there was never a basic one goddess which was named after that, but I could be wrong. Maybe the sources I read that was also wrong. I will see what I can find about that and put that in another video. Maybe when Astara appears. Yeah, and here we have this, and also it also tells a bit about the symbol of the hare. Um, and the egg for being the circle of new life. And they are also telling that the colorful eggs that we exchange on Ostara or Ostern or Easter is also known. This custom of exchanging colorful eggs is also known in China, where Chinese people exchanged them 5,000 years ago. This is also something which I didn't know. So. This is Astara. Then we have Beltane, which is here called Hohe Mayen, or we also celebrate it as Erster Mai, Mai-Feiertag. And we it's basically celebrated on the last day of April. And there are a lot of festivals, like dancing festivals, everywhere around Germany, especially in the Harz Mountains, because the Harz Mountains is a bit like, a place of myth and legend where witches were dwelling, and they still celebrate their quite wild and ecstatic parties there. And never took part in this kind of parties, but I saw a lot of pictures online and I thought, what a fun they had. Yeah, and what they say here is that this festival is in honor of the unity of the sun and heaven god Odin with the earth goddess Frigg. But also from god Freyr with Gerda, which means earth, basically. And Gerda was a giant in this North tradition, and Freya fell for her. So this is basically a festival to revive the earth, actually. Yeah, then we have the summer solstice, of course. This is when the sun reaches its peak and starts to fade slowly. And this I love to use this term, harkens back to the day where in the Edda, in this mythological big epic piece, the god Baldur, or Baldur, he's also called, who is representing the sun. He is killed by his blind brother Hödur, which means darkness, and Hödur is lured into that by by Loki, this mischievous god. Listenreich, I would like to call him, or listig. And that is the background for that. What we have here is the next one is, I have to remember, is Lunasa or Lammas in the Celtic tradition or Anglo-Saxon tradition, and here it's called Schnitterfest, cutting festival, basically. And he's also something about Loki again. He's representing the summer heat here in this kind of explanation here. And he's cutting the hair of Sif. I guess Sif, yeah, Sif is the wife of Thor or Thor. And yeah, he just cut her hair. Well, I knew back from the story that she wasn't amused by that. And yeah, Sif is her hair is representative for the wheat that is cut now, heaten up by the summer heat and ripened, and now, yeah, got harvested. So the next one is the autumn equinox, or Mabon. Here it's only called the autumn equinox, which is a pretty long word in German. Herbst, Tag und Nachtgleiche. I don't like that. I prefer Mabon or so. Or even autumn equinox. It's not so. It's not that long word here. That's pretty long. Yeah, this is another harvest festival and Thanksgiving, basically a Thanksgiving festival, which we also celebrate here, but differently than in America. We don't have a particular fixed date for this. We just celebrate it here and there. There are some kind of church things going on in the area. We are basically here in the north of Germany. There are a lot of Lutherans and evangelical, if you want to call it evangelisch, churches. So they are starting something like that, and also there are Thanksgiving festivals in a non-Christian tradition, just to celebrate harvest and celebrate autumn. And there are markets here and there, pumpkin festivals and so on. Yeah, and so you can also find some pagan stuff around the area here, but it's more hidden. Yeah. And then we come to Samhain, or we want to call it. Here it is called Ahnengedenken, remembrance of the ancestors, basically. Yeah, which Christians celebrate as All Hallows Eve. And yeah, then it starts all over with Jule again. So now we come to the gods. Yeah, finally the gods. Yeah, of course, here we have the three Norns, which are Urt, Verdandi, and Skuld. They are the fate goddesses, actually. And when I will show you the picture, I really like that they are dressed in black, red, and white, which are also the colors of the goddess. The three aspects of the goddess of maiden, mother, and crone. This is also lovely. And yeah, the next goddess we have here is Iduna, the goddess of youth and spring and life force and so on. She nurtures a garden, and she gives every day, she gives some of her apples from this garden to the gods. She is the wife of Bragi, and Bragi is the son of Odin and Frigg. And I guess it's here, he's the god of poetry and inspiration. And here we have the sun god. We have Baldur, or Baldur. Is, yeah, the light and sun god. Okay, and his mom was Frigg. And she made every living being made a promise to her that no one will ever do some suffering or some hurt to her son. But like I told you, Loki was a very naughty god and wanted to have fun on his own cost, so you know how this ended up. Then we have Freya, the goddess of love, yeah, of course here. And her twin brother Freyr, like I told you, this lovely one who made love to the giant Gerda. So, and of course here, he looks really, the camera, he looks really, yeah, really bad here, Loki. Really, really looks bad. And even Thor or Thor, how you want, I don't know if you call him, I guess you call him also Thor in English, although he has this TH in it. Yeah, Thor, he looks also a bit grumpy in that. Not so youthful like the one in the movie. Yeah, and here wow, we have this is Thor's stepmother, Frigg. Because what you don't get in the movies is that his mother in the movies isn't actually his real mother, but his stepmother. Cause Odin had some lovely stuff going on with an earth giant, a female earth giant called Jord. Or, oh god, this name is also really bad. Fjörn. Yeah, this one here. If you can't pronounce that, I don't want to murder it. Yeah, so Frigg was not his real mother. So, yeah. And last but not least, we have here Odin. Yeah, of course, Odin. And yeah, so here's a bit of the background. Bit of background about Hugin and Munin. That these two ravens were sitting on the shoulders, on each of the shoulder of the god Odin, and every morning he sent them out to bring him news. So, yeah, here can you see it? Memory for Erinnerung is one of the names of the ravens. Yeah, this is actually the booklet, and I will now stop this video and I will show you the cards in the next part of the, yeah, of this lovely deck in another, yeah, in the walkthrough basically. So until then.